Hello everyone, good morning. My name is Filip Weiss, and in ALEF Training Center, I work as a team leader for Czech Republic. On behalf of the entire ALEF training team, I would like to welcome you in today's event where our professional trainers and technical specialists will present news about F5, cloud and cloud security, and our hosts will speak about Cisco and VMware. We have also prepared a special gift, so definitely wait until the end. Because we use the WebEx events platform, you don't see each other. You only see the speakers as. You are automatically mute and you cannot turn on the video. In case you will have any questions, please use the chat. We will check it regularly. I do hope that you will enjoy today's event, and now let me start with some fresh news about ALEF. In ALEF, we are still growing and expanding, so our next mission is in Moldova. I would also like to remind you that our lectures hold advanced F5 certification. Thus, we can provide the latest training. Let me remind you that we are still market leader in Cisco certified training, and we constantly maintain the high certification of our instructors. It is also good to know that if someone's Cisco certification is expiring, you can recertify it by attending training course in ALEF. Last but not least, you can also use Cisco learning credits through ALEF, which you can use for training. Now, I would like to invite the first guest, Jürgen, who represents VMware. Jürgen, please.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Let me try and share my screen. Okay, you should see my PowerPoint now. Can you confirm this quickly, please, Philip?
Yes.
Yes, you can. Okay, great. Okay, thank you for having me, and good morning to everybody out there. Happy to be here and presenting for. Hold on, I'll just put my face away here. You don't need to see that one. Happy to be here to present again for my friends at ALEF Training Center specifically. And Philip just mentioned that you will have a couple of high-level technical speakers. That's definitely not me. All you will get from me is the advertising block before the real show begins. And just let me dive quickly into it. So I'm managing, I'm a learning partner manager. I'm managing from a business perspective, from a sales and marketing perspective, I'm managing all of our training partners in Central and Eastern Europe, but I will not bore you with those details. What I want to share just in a couple of minutes with you is a quick overview what we as VMware do currently, of course, with a focus on our learning and certification products, and how you could utilize ALEF's services to cover your training needs when it comes to VMware products. You will receive the PowerPoints after the event, so you don't have to jot down every single detail. Feel free to do so, of course. VMware, where are we? What are we doing? So basically, I always like to remind people on what we are actually doing, how large VMware is. I'm with VMware now for more than 10 years. When I started, it feels like in the last century. When I started, we were about 17,000 employees. So there's been a tremendous growth over the course of time. And VMware is, certainly has been moving away from a vSphere only, from a one product virtualization only company to one of the leading providers, if not the leading provider for multi-cloud services with a variety of products across the board. vSphere in the core data center, we do NSX for network virtualization, SD-WAN products, Tanzu when it comes to Kubernetes management, and so on and so on. So we have a broad stack of products. And through our cooperations with a lot of major hyperscalers, for example, like AWS, Microsoft, Google, and so on, we are in a very, very well positioned across the globe when it comes to be a technical leader in multi-cloud services. Company history was pretty exciting, I would say. It's basically, as you can see, we are now 25 years in, and there's been a lot of movements. We have been acquiring companies. There have been companies which took over VMware, but we always have been dealing as an independent company, as an independent business unit, depending on where we were on the timeline. And as many of you probably know, there was an announcement last year that Broadcom has decided to acquire VMware. It's still yet to close, but from what I can tell, being at the end of the food chain, all signals are on green, and I assume, given the internal communications as well, I assume that this will go on as announced, which would mean that moving forward around November timeframe, there will be some announcements on how VMware will be integrated into Broadcom. So that's good news because in my view, and I'm not saying this because I have to, I think this Broadcom merger, when you scrutinize it a little bit, brings a lot of opportunities for VMware, and therefore I believe that's definitely an interesting move, and certainly will shake up VMware a little bit in the next couple of months, but also maybe the multi-cloud industry. So that's something to be watched. I'm not sure, but I assume that we will hear more about this early November during our VMware Explore conference in Barcelona, which is actually still receiving bookings if you are interested. So again, we are present in most of the global companies, which is, and most of you are customers of VMware or technology customers, and probably have touch points with VMware, so I will not bore you with this slide. I think it's always good to iterate what we do, and I tend to use this slide, which is a little bit outdated. I think that's like 2 or 3 years old, but at the end of the day, this is still a good representation of what we do. We came from private data center, software-defined data center with compute products like vSphere, storage products like vSAN, a lot of management products with like vRealize, now renamed to VMware Aria. And we moved out of the private data center. We're still there with vSphere 8. vSphere 8 is still a strong product when it comes to data. It is the strongest product in the market when it comes to data center management, server virtualization, and utilizing cloud technologies on your private data center. But we have obviously moved out via the hybrid cloud with specific products around telecommunications, edge computing, and so on and so on. So it's basically a one-stop shop, basically a neutral one-stop shop for all customers when it comes to utilizing multi-cloud technologies. In addition, we have positioned ourselves very successfully with products like Tanzu, for example, in the application developer space. Yes, there can be done more, and that's something I would ask you to look into. If you do Kubernetes, if you do that's something you will certainly look into. Most of the technology-oriented companies do that. There's plenty of demand for developer type of activities around Kubernetes, Tanzu, and the training needs for this can certainly be covered via our friends here at ALEF. We are also still very strongly positioned in the device management. Any devices, products, Workspace ONE and Horizon, depending on the requirements. But with that and the built-in security products, I think we are really a great choice, still a very great choice for the digital foundation across the board, all levels of technologies. And again, I believe the upcoming Broadcom merger will add to that, but we will see where this leads. And I'm not allowed to talk about that anyway, but and I don't know a lot because, as I said, I'm just a normal employee. Anyway, for all of this, ALEF can help you to cover your learning needs. We have I think no, I'm not. I think I'm convinced, and I know a lot of vendors. I've been with other vendors. VMware has always been very, very top notch when it came to quality of training products, which is not only the content we develop. We develop our contents together with our product divisions. So it's business units, as we call them. So basically, all learning products come out very, very close to the product release. So we usually have about 2 to 4 weeks, depending on the product. When we have a new vSphere release, for example, our courses are out basically at the same time when the product is released. A few others tend to have a delay here and there, but we are very close to product release. And the key part to me is the quality of the content, because you won't have any other VMware content which is developed in conjunction with our business units, with the guys who actually build the products. Plus, we have strict requirements when it comes to training delivery, meaning primarily qualified trainers, VCIs, VMware certified instructors, and our authorized training centers are required to use VCIs. We have high-level quality checks. We check the quality results of each training, and you can be sure that ALEF's trainers are top-notch, as most of the VCIs are out there. We have a lot of stuff. I could cover a lot of stuff, but I only have a few minutes. So basically, I will touch this very quickly. Our certification programs, which most of you hopefully are aware of, are basically similar like other vendors, again, developed together with our product units, and certifications have a high value from different perspectives. I personally, I said earlier, I don't know a thing about technology. I know a little bit. I've done a lot of certifications during my career, although I'm just in a sales or marketing position. But certifications on all the levels there are can help you improve your knowledge and your skills, which is the most important still in my view. But there is a return on investment, a provable return on investment on certification. So I did a couple of years ago, I did a project just, how do you say that? I guided a project. I was part of a project team which was about certifying a handful of support employees. And I was asked to come along and basically measure the outcome in terms of return on investment. So basically, I invest X amount of dollars, how much do I get back? And this is something one can measure with several tools. And again, ALEF can certainly help you with that. If it comes to specific, there are some very interesting reports out there from Pearson VUE, from IDC, independent companies, showing the value of certification. And of course, very simply from an employer's perspective, if you hire someone new, an industry certification like VMware VCP or from other vendors like Microsoft, certified professionals, etc., are a proof that your new employee certainly has a certain skill level and practical experience, which is really important. And from an employee perspective, from an individual perspective, of course, a good addition always to your CV. So I always strongly recommend to consider certification. We provide basically all modern learning options, which you all can access via ALEF. We have, and again, this is probably a type of thing of personal or individual preference. We have the typical, some say old-fashioned classroom instructor-led training. I personally, maybe I'm old-fashioned, I personally prefer instructor-led training for my own training. But of course, we have online opportunities. We have practical labs which you could rent just for exercises. We have what we call, actually, this has been just recently renamed. Connect Learning is now called, very simply called VMware Digital Learning. And Connect Learning or Digital Learning is simply put a platform where you can buy all of our content in a digital format. All instructor-led trainings are, for example, available as self-paced training. If you do not have the option or the possibility to join a classroom training, we can provide you with very flexible other options, subscription-based products, etc., etc. And all of those are available through our authorized training centers. In your region, that's ALEF primarily. Just to give you one example of several options, we have different subscription models for different prices, as you can see. But if you are interested in digital learning, ask ALEF and they can help you out, give you more detail and what's available, how the pricing works, etc., etc. Just to give you that, we are just running a promotion where we give heavy discounts on all of those products by end of this month. Again, to be purchased through our training partners like ALEF. What else? Courses and certifications. Just to give you a quick hint, I just mentioned certification. This is just an example. Our current vSphere class for our newest product, vSphere version 8. It's a modular approach. Typically what we ask for is if you want to achieve a certification and you're starting from scratch, we typically ask you to visit one class, one qualifying class, which is actually mandatory. You must visit one of the classes. For VCP data center virtualization. We typically recommend the vSphere install configure manage class. And after sitting that class in your training center or online, you just pass the exam and that's it. But it's not that simple as it sounds right now, because our training content is aligned to the certification, but not necessarily all of the questions covered in the exam are 100% covered in one class, meaning that you really need practical experience and prepare yourself a little bit deeper to actually pass the exam. There are some other classes we recommend, but this is just to give you an idea how modular our different certification tracks are built. There are similar approaches for other products like Workspace ONE, NSX, and your training partner can certainly help you with more detail. For those of you who are familiar with VMware classes, we just recently changed, well, not that recent, half a year ago, but I always want to highlight this. We have changed one of the core classes names. It was usually called vSphere Optimize and Scale. This has been completely replaced by the vSphere Operate, Scale and Secure class, and the structure of the course as well as the contents have changed a little bit, which are listed here. And again, you will receive the slides later for your reference, so I will not go into detail here. We keep on publishing new classes on a regular basis. Basically, it's a constant. There is not like a fixed date or something. So there are constantly classes added or discontinued, etc. So to make sure that we are completely on track. Right now, our overall course catalog has about, guesstimate 70 classes, 70 to 80 classes. And we have just recently released the like 3 new instructor-led classes, like the Cloud on AWS Design, Configure, Manage class, which has a great demand and is certainly one of those classes which I would recommend to you to look into, because that class gives you a good overview on integrating how vSphere is run on an AWS environment. There will be a similar class for Azure moving forward as well. Just very quickly, again, just a quick overview on the recently exams. There are hyperlinks in the PowerPoints you will receive, so there is an option for you to dive deeper into the topics you might be interested in. And I also wanted to quickly highlight this one, the Azure VMware Solution Master Specialist badge, which is designed for primarily for partners, VMware partner network members, but technology-wise, the content might be interesting for other people as well. So that's why I'm just quickly highlighting this class. Again, there is a hyperlink, and we see a growing demand on VMware and Azure integration, or the other way around. So therefore, that's something to look into, and there are the respective certification paths as well. And again, I believe the AWS and Azure integration are probably the ones which are growing very strongly in the will be growing very strongly in the next couple of months. Upcoming releases, I will skip that very quickly. If you want to take a deeper dive into our certification paths, the VMware Learning website is always up to date. That's the most recent and most current information you can get. There are numbers of different other documents out there, learning path documents, etc. But if you want to be on the safe side, since it's always, again, we are constantly updating our information, our website gives you the most recent information. And when you drill down, again, here you will find a hyperlink in the PowerPoint. When you drill down into a specific certification, it gives you more details for if you are a newbie, if you start from scratch, or if you hold a VCP certification, or if you have an outdated VCP certification, what exactly to do to achieve a certain new certification. Last but not least, I want to point to our course catalog. I just mentioned that we have more than about 70 to 80 classes. All of those are in the course catalog. The screenshot is a little bit older. It's, again, this is constantly updated, and you can download it via this hyperlink. The good part here is this gives you a very brief overview of all classes, very brief content description, role, and length and level, entry, professional, and so on and so on. And again, if you have questions, our friends here in ALEF can certainly help you. And that's it, pretty much. Thank you very much. I wish you a great day with the real specialists. And again, I want to thank ALEF. I want to use the opportunity. I want to thank ALEF for all of their engagement. We have grown this partnership in the training business over a long course of time, very slowly. We are working now together in more than half a dozen of countries, and I'm really looking forward for a long-term successful future. And for all of you, I wish you fun. Have fun in this event. Thank you.
Thank you, Jürgen. So good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to the next presentation. Today, I will speak about how Cisco technology could help organizations to be successful. It will be highlight view at SD-WAN and SESI concept. So well, trends in work, trends in IT. World is changing, everything is changing. More than before, specialized and satisfied workers are key for successful organization. I have described here below some key milestones and benefits that most employees report. We are all different, of course, and we prefer different benefits. But the fact is that 50% of today's workforce is remote, and the demand for hybrid remote work is still increasing. We as a Cisco technology leader can help with two mentioned benefits, remote work and easy access to applications, because of course, we are following IT trends. The main trend in IT is still cloud. Cloud is growing. Cloud is flexible, based on OpEx. Cloud started to be an essential for the company's economy and IT strategy. For a fact, most applications are in the cloud, and for needs to have a direct internet access, companies are using a lot of applications as a software as a service. So the solution for remote locations, applications in cloud, direct internet access, and of course for related security is SD-WAN. SD-WAN is the new concept for one network. So how does it work or worked? You can see there two topology. The left side, this is how things used to work with network and security. There you can see in the middle the primary corporate data center. All applications used to be hosted on-premise. Branch offices would tunnel all traffic back to the data center over MPLS. Around 80% of the traffic was internal, and all internet access was routed there. Remote workers, of course, are using or used VPN. Complete security stack, firewall, etc., deployed within data center or headquarters. For a year, this was the way that most companies deployed their network architecture, and it allowed you to have a single place for all security or your network. But at right side, you can see the new approach, because over the last 5 years, there has been a drastic increase in internet traffic. Organizations have continued to adapt cloud applications and storage and are running more of their workloads from the cloud. Now the percentage of internet traffic is typically higher than the internal traffic. Backhauling all this traffic through expensive MPLS lines and VPNs doesn't make sense anymore. More organizations are moving to direct internet access, which exposes them more to threats because they bypass traditional security protection. So we need to solve their gaps in protection. And we will talk about concept SASE. Gaps in protection we are solving with this concept. Gartner has given a new name to this concept called Secure Access Service Edge a few years ago, so it's nothing new. There is a research by Gartner that estimated that by 2025, 50% of SD-WAN purchases will be part of a single vendor SASE offering. So if you see the definition, SASE enables companies to operate during times of disruption, for example, COVID or something, what else, and provides highly secure, high-performance access to any application regardless of user location. So here is the remote work behind. If we can see, for example, two topologies, as we also thought I mentioned before, in data center-centric typology, you have most of security in corporate data center. In cloud, on the right side, in cloud-enabled solution, you have a strong security layer, SASE, in the middle. So what is in the SASE concepts? SASE components, primary SASE service is about software-defined one and security service edge. Security service edge is a huge part. You can find the DNS layer security, secure web gateway, firewall as a service, cloud access security broker, and of course zero trust network access. If we can see the primer part of SESI, software-defined one, you can see here secure automated one, multi-cloud connectivity, application performance optimization, secure direct internet access, and of course, middle mile optimization. So let's go maybe deeply to this SD-WAN concept. As I mentioned before, SD-WAN is a branch of software-defined networking that is used for connecting branch offices, remote workers, and mobile employees to the company's main office. So, because we are following the trends about remote and hybrid work. SD-WAN brings predictable application experience, centralized management, of course, and high security approach. This is like a typical or general information about SD-WAN. Because you can find on the market more SD-WAN solution, not only by Cisco. But SD-WAN by Cisco offers all features in highest quality. SD-WAN is about network, and Cisco is the player number one in networking, approximately 40 years. In all categories, what you can see here in all SD-WAN features, Cisco have the highest quality solution. Because Cisco invested and still investing years and a lot of investigation to this network development. But Cisco has more. If you can see here, I highlighted by blue color. Cisco offers also multi-cloud access. We are using micro-segmentation, and we have the most efficient performance routing. And what only I would like to add, only Cisco SD-WAN is compatible with other vendor SASE. Multi-cloud access, what is it? If you will use other SD-WAN technology, of course, why not? But you will need 3 consoles to each vendor cloud. Cisco can manage all 3 vendor clouds from one tool called vManage, which is really effective because there are a lot of acquisitions on the market. And for example, a lot of companies have a strategy, disaster recovery plans, and more organizations are using more than one vendor cloud. So it's really effective to IT admin management. The second feature, what is really unique by Cisco, is segmentation. Macro segmentation, or based on macro segmentation, you can manage VPN related several devices or users' accesses. It's important because some devices are not so secured. And for example, through IoT devices, there is a lot of ransomware and other cybersecurity attacks. Cisco, as only vendor, has also micro-segmentation. It can recognize your devices. For example, there is user has a notebook and mobile phone using for work. But because of BioD policy, that is not possible to have fully secured mobile devices, and it could be a security threat. So microsegmentation will manage your access to critical application, and the full access you will have only from notebook and not from your mobile phone, for example. The third great advantage, it's like optimization challenges. Because Cisco SD-WAN is continuously measuring the performance of designed software as a service application through all permissible paths from a branch. For example, most used Microsoft applications, Teams, SharePoint, Exchange, have specific level of latency. And it's really important for workers because, to be honest, bad latency, it's a hell for everybody. If you only have a single path for all your internet-bound traffic, then you will see impact to application performance as all internet-bound traffic competes for the same bandwidth. This is, for example, what you can see in this picture, the quality of video if you are using different accesses. And SD-WAN fabric always will choose the right way. Well, some summary about SD-WAN. Why it's so important? Because it's about satisfaction. Management really likes cost reduction. what really likes maybe everybody, but mainly IT department, is simplification of operations thanks to automation. If employee can work very easily and can use like a great or the biggest performance of business applications, it's great. And of course, if there is efficiency, it's happy whole organization because everything what makes money is great for all of us. Well, for more technical details about SD-WAN, you can start with training, for example. So Cisco offers 3 types of certified trainings. The first one is implementing Cisco SD-WAN solutions. If you are using or only thinking about SD-WAN, you can attend this 5 days course. You will learn design, configure and manage SD-WAN, including how to migrate your old WAN network. What is great, you also can get 32 education credits. This is great for your certification because if you don't want to go for pass the exam, you can only attend some courses. And because SD-WAN is really big trend, I think it's great to use this opportunity. If, for example, you have not so clear decision if you will use SD-WAN in your company, but during this training, you can maybe understand more the advantages and how after that manage it. The second training is about operation and deployment, and it's more, for example, for companies or for IT admins who knows that they will work with SD-WAN, because you will learn about vManage and other tools. This is 2 days course, so there's only 16 education credits, but still I think it's a great occasion. And the third one course, it's advanced. It's for somebody who really implement SD-WAN, and now, of course, they will also solve the security, and you can get 24 education credits for your recertification. For more details about course, education credits, and for example, Cisco Learning credits, what mentioned in the beginning, Philip Weiss from ALEF Training Center, you can contact partner ALEF Training Center. ALEF Training Center is really experienced about trainings, about Cisco Learning, about claiming it, and about whole processes what you need to get Cisco trainings. For more technical details about SD-WAN, don't hesitate to contact also my colleague Miroslav Brzek. He's a specialist for SD-WAN, or me. I can help you with pricing and with, for example, other information. So now, thank you for your attention, and let me give the word to my colleague Milan Šimšík, the specialist for F5 networks. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Andy. So, welcome to my part. My name is Milan Šimčík, and I work in ALEF for more than 8 years as a senior system engineer, now responsible for F5 technical team across ALEF group. Today, I will present you how you can improve your F5 big IP skills, trainings, and F5 trainings delivered by F5 authorized training center. Okay, where you can start? Well, the most essential training when you just started with F5 big IP is the administrating big IP. This is a real starting point. You will learn basic buildings block and principles of the F5 big IP. You will start with licensing, provisioning, and through configuring nodes, pools, virtuals, servers, and other configuration elements to deliver your application. Finally, you will deploy and manage high availability clusters of big IPs. This training is recommended as a prerequisite for advanced courses and helps you to prepare for the professional certification. In that case, it's a F5 certified administrator. Okay, then when you can continue, there is a one subsequent training which we usually bundle these two guys together. So next, where you can go is configuring local traffic manager. Configuring local traffic manager greatly expands on the concepts from administrating big IP in far more detail. In case you already have knowledge of big IP, you can start right here. This course is covering everything from intelligent load balancing to monitor application health, to modifying traffic behavior and payload manipulation, to basic network and application security, imparting the skills necessary to effectively configure and administer a big IP local traffic management system in support of application delivery. Okay, so time to times you need to to figure out some issues, some problems. So improving how you can improve your troubleshooting skills. For that, we have a troubleshooting big IP training. This is a really must training for systems engineers and network administrators. It will explain and describe methodology approach bottom to top. It shows you how to use a Swiss knife tools built in a big IP to even more extend your abilities to analyze, troubleshoot, and mitigate problems. This is really highly recommended training to operate and deliver optimal performance of your big IP and your application. Both trainings I just mentioned lay the foundation of knowledge needed to pass exams required to achieve F5 certified technology specialist LTM. So configuring big IP local traffic manager helps you to prepare you for 301A exam, which is first part of that certification, while troubleshooting big IP helps you to prepare for 301B exam. Right, and as I mentioned, this really lay a foundation of knowledge you need to pass these exams. Right? Okay, let's move on. DNS and global server load balancing is another, let's say, discipline of application delivery controller. So for DNS, we have a configuring big IP DNS. In configuring big IP DNS course, you will learn how the domain name system resolves host names into IP addresses, how to use DNS Express to cache DNS query responses to accelerate DNS resolution, hands-on labs with key features to perform intelligent DNS resolution, configuring wide IP pools to use, for example, path load balancing method, explore the persistence, and more topics which are related to global server load balancing are included in that training. Course also gives you an overview how to control resuming of certain load balancing behaviors in the event of an outage or managing the maintenance window. Finally, you will configure big IP DNS to participate in a DNS chain of trust. And of course, this training is recommended if you plan to become a F5 certified technology specialist for DNS. Let's focus on more advanced trainings related to security modules. So first is configuring advanced firewall manager. During that course, you will learn how to deploy and operate big IP advanced firewall manager to protect data center against incoming threats that enter to the network at layer 3 and layer 4 on common protocols, including HTTP, SIP, SSH, SSL, and others. Using mix of lectures and hands-on labs, you will gain an experience of implementing comprehensive protection against attacks from rapidly changing IP addresses by applying the latest threat intelligence, IPI, and by anticipating, detecting, and responding to attacks before they hit data center target. Practice using distributed denial of service mitigation that scales to prevent high volume targeted network flood attacks, while allowing legitimate traffic to flow without compromising performance or degrading the user experience. Based on my personal experience, unfortunately, this is an underestimated module here in our CE markets, which is a pity in my opinion. Next course, which are related to another security module, is configuring big IP access policy manager. In this course, you will learn how to set up and operate big IP access policy manager to protect your enterprise network and your data center using remote access methods such as SSL, VPN, or per application layer 4 application tunnels, and reverse proxy layer 7 access method, as well as remote desktop access using, for example, Microsoft remote desktop protocol. You will learn how to protect application by adding access policies to the big IP LTM virtual servers to allow or deny user access based on set of conditions, such as user authentication using Active Directory or Radius, or by determining if the client is running up-to-date antivirus or firewall software. This is a complex training and duration is 3 days, and it is strongly recommended when you plan to become APM certified professional. Configuring F5 Advanced Web Application Firewall, or WAF, if you want, is the most complex and comprehensive course. The duration is 4 days. You will be observing various vulnerability mitigation in real time by playing the role of an attacker in lab exercises. You will gain a context for securing application, including analysis of HTTP protocol and the elements of both modern and traditional web applications, such as file types, parameters, URLs, and login pages. You will learn to recognize client and server side technologies such as Angular, JS, or PHP, and others. Course includes also advanced topics related to session awareness and user tracking, bot protection, layer 7 or DOS protection on application level protection, and brute force detection and mitigation of brute force attacks. If you plan to become F5 certified technology specialist for ASM or web application firewall, this course is in terms of preparation a must. So as I mentioned in the beginning, this is very complex training, and by the way, is one of our top sellers. Okay, now we covered some, let's say, basic set of trainings which you need if you want to become, let's say, F5 certified. So completing all mentioned trainings, you will gain a knowledge foundation to achieve the highest level of certification, which is Certified Solution Expert. You will start with 101 exam, very basic exam with just, basic knowledge of what is IP address, what is MAC address, and some few terminology from F5. But really, you can pass this 101 exam in second day in the work. Then you move to 102, which is the first level of F5 certification, certified administrator. Then you will be eligible to go to the selected 300 level certification. So then you can select if you want to become a certified technical specialist for LTM, DNS, ASM, which is web application firewall, or APM. Now, from 300 level, if you pass a certain 300 level certification, you will be eligible for 400 level exams, which are the highest exams at the present time. So not only trainings are sufficient, of course, to gain the highest level of certification, also your own experience and deep understanding of variety of protocols and solution will train you to become an expert, and ALEF will support you on your learning curve. Okay, let's continue with other trainings we also have offering. So, are you afraid of IOs, or do you want to write your own code? Let's move on that, or let's attend on that training. So, developing IOs for big IP delivers a huge increase in your coding abilities. You will learn how to logically plan and write IOs to help monitor and manage common traffic processing tasks on the big IP system. You will explore events, functions, commands, variables, operators, and other elements for mastering IO development. You will gain a practical experience through hands-on labs using all discussed elements, of course, including basic syntax of IO coding, including the best practices and optimization. After that training, believe me, you will never afraid of IOs. Have you ever tried to automate your big IP? Not yet? No worries. We will guide you how to automate your big IP. Automating big IP with AS3. This training starts with reviews of Linux commands, which are very, let's say, essential in terms of automation and orchestration. And we'll review or continue with the review of application creation on big IP, and continues with the introduction of automation and DevOps terminology and concepts. It then introduced JavaScript data types and JavaScript object notation, JSON, to be able to read that kind of notation. which provide a data encapsulation for imperative programming Big IP with the iControl REST API. Declarative API are introduced in the final lessons which are used to automate your Big IP application creation and Big IP system onboarding. If you are not interested in AS3, which is let's say approach how F5 perform or deliver its automation or is automating their Big IP appliances, you can select another supported approach, which is automating Big IP with Ansible. The content of the training is basically the same like the previous one, but then the main content includes the Ansible and components which is needed to automate your Big IP using that Ansible framework. So this is an alternative to AS3, and you can select either from one or second option, or you can select both, of course. Okay, that's all. In the end, why you should select ALEF? Well, we are able to support or to deliver trainings in the local markets in local language. So in 4 countries, we have our own authorized training center, which is in Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, and newly in Romania. In those markets, we are able to deliver F5 training in local language. Of course, English language delivery is also possible in our 4 countries where we have ATC, authorized training center. English support or English online support in all countries where ALEF operates are or is also possible. As I mentioned, we have 4 F5 authorized training centers across CE region, which means that in each ATC, we have our own local F5 training environment, including all necessary components to deliver all mentioned trainings mentioned in that presentation. So we are ready to deliver the trainings in these 4 countries. Why choose ALEF as a F5 training partner? So our team very experienced authorized instructors. We have real-world experiences with real projects and real cases during our long-term history with F5 technology. We operate our own F5 support services to gain even more knowledge and experience, and we are ready to share our experience with you, our customers and partners. So this is why I think that we are really a strong partner in terms of trainings or F5 trainings. So thank you for your attention. If you have any question, do not hesitate to put question into the chat and we will answer you. So thank you again. And now we have a 10 minutes break.
So, hello everyone. I hope you enjoyed the break, grab the coffee and sit down to listen for the second part of our training knowledge day. My name is Jirka Scholz. I'm working in ALEF in the architecture innovation team, and I'm responsible for the technologies like cloud applications and enterprise architecture. And maybe at first, let me tell you and apologize on Jay Kaslu, who should have the presentation about the cloud security. He gone ill and he cannot attend this training day. So very sorry. If you would like to hear more about the cloud security, don't hesitate to reach us, reach our colleagues from the ALEF team, and we will be really happy to help you with the security. And let's jump to our today's topic. Our today's topic is about the cloud journey. Are you ready for your cloud journey? Let's dive in. So you may ask, my journey where? To the cloud? What's the cloud? I bet in 2023, when the whole world is talking about AI and machine learning and about the automation, the cloud is not unknown term. So many people just says the cloud is just someone else's computer. But I don't agree. I don't agree at all. It's a whole new style of computing. So let's take a look. Cloud computing is on-demand delivery of IT resources on pay-as-you-go basis. So basically, you pay for what you need. It's very similar to the subscription, like you maybe are familiar for your personal lives, like Spotify, Netflix, and the others. So instead of buying, owning, and maintaining your own physical infrastructure and the physical data centers and servers, you can access those technologies such as computing, storage, databases, and very specific applications, for example, the machine learning and IoT and the others, on the as-needed basis from the cloud provider. From the cloud provider like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud Platform, Oracle, SAP, and many others, we can go on. So basically, every big vendor in the IT nowadays has some sort of the cloud services. So why is the cloud so important for today? If you look at the numbers, here are the numbers from the Gartner. We spent worldwide about 600 billion US dollars for the cloud services. And the prediction for the next year is about 20% rise. As you can see on the right side, the difference between 2022 and 23 is also 23%. In the middle, you can take a look at the main players in the clouds area of the technology. So the biggest one, the worldwide, is AWS, which is followed by Microsoft, which provides its Azure cloud services, and then the Google Cloud. We call it like the cloud triad, the main providers for the cloud services. So why cloud and why it's beneficial for you, your IT, and your business? Cloud has some advantages over the traditional IT infrastructure. Let's dive in and take a look. So as you are paying for the services in pay-as-you-go basis, you are not investing the large investment amounts like the CapEx. You are moved to the OpEx cost category, and you are just paying for what you really use. You have a really the agility and to scale your IT and scale the infrastructure, for example, as needed, before Christmas, on the other events during the year, at the, for example, end of the month or beginning of the next month, and you can pay for your servers just for the capacity you really use. So you don't have to invest the large sum of money. You can go with the prepaid model and pay as you go. The main benefit and the use case is almost unlimited capacity and infinite scaling, which is really accessible and really, one click away, I would say. The last not least benefit of the cloud is the global reach with the local presence. The global reach, I mean, the cloud providers provides cloud services worldwide, but there is always the data center near you. So you have low latencies, you have the data center in your proximity, the proximity of your company, and you can take advantage of the low latencies and the services, like in the neighborhood. If you look at the traditional IT and the cloud infrastructure, it differs a little bit. I would say a little bit, but maybe at all. We all know the networks, firewalls, and access lists, which we manage in the on-prem environment. We are managing the firewalls, we are securing our perimeters, we are deploying our WAN technologies, also the SAN. The software defined is the term which is nowadays very trendy. And the cloud is based on those technologies, but you don't see it. You just consume the resources as you need on the basis and on the really needs for your application and for your business. If you look at the right side, the Amazon Web Services, this slide should give you an overview and an example how the cloud differs from the traditional IT. So for example, instead of having a amount of the servers like server farm, the rack full of servers on the left side in the traditional IT data center, you can utilize and spin off the EC2 instances in Amazon. EC2 in Amazon is an example of the computing virtual machine resource. And you are just paying for the resource for your server when you have it. So, and what about my IT? Okay, I got it. So should I move all my applications and the IT infrastructure to the cloud? Not so fast. Cloud is really for everyone, but definitely not suitable for everything. You can still find the workloads and the special applications or some applications which are beneficial from the traditional IT consumption and IT model. So we are saying nowadays, we went through the history, like everyone has an IT on premise. Then we went through the hype about the cloud technology. So everyone was just moving to the cloud. But today's new paradigm is definitely the hybrid IT. The hybrid IT is the right way. The hybrid IT means you still have some data centers and the workloads on your premises, but you can take advantage of the cloud services and combine them together with your on-prem infrastructure. Let's take a look to the cloud journey. Every cloud journey begins with the strategy. Like AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud, all the main cloud vendors, and also we in ALEF, we have some steps on a cloud journey which we really recommend not to skip, but to walk through all the way. Everything begins with the cloud strategy. The cloud strategy helps you to find a proper solution for you, for your applications, and for your business. Through the stage of the cloud readiness, you can test, you can pilot the workloads, you can pilot the applications, and you can learn more about the cloud. When you find out you have the applications and workloads which will be really suitable to run in the cloud, let's move to the cloud migration phase. You can migrate or deploy the appropriate applications to the cloud. After the deployment, like in any traditional IT, the cloud operation begins. The cloud operation is very similar but different, and we will take a look into it a little bit further in the presentation about the IT. The cloud operation is about running the workloads and application and services in the cloud. And to close our PDCA cycle, the cloud optimization is for the iteration and innovation. We in ALEF can help you accelerate your journey with our ALEF service portfolio. We have the service categories like the cloud advisory, cloud delivery, cloud operation, and cloud trainings. Those are the categories of the services, like the professional services and managed services we offer to our customer. But today we are talking about the knowledge day, about the trainings and certifications and education in IT field. So I will focus a little bit on the right side on the cloud trainings. You play the key role in your future hybrid IT journey to the cloud, because it's not about the outsourcing and not about the suppliers. It's always about you, your business, and your IT. So let's have a look at your IT team. How does it look today? It could look like those guys from the IT crowd, but sorry, I didn't meant your current IT team. I meant your future IT team. Your future IT team of superheroes for the traditional and cloud services and all the IT which is demanding for business. Empower your IT with the cloud skills. You can learn by role. Typically, in any environment, you will learn by a role what you are doing, what the people are doing. So let's take a look a little bit closer to 3 roles I've chosen for you and which are most typical and which are most frequent of our trainings we deliver here in ALEF. Let's start with solution architects, continue with the developers, and then take a look at the operations. So you may ask, the cloud solution architect. The cloud solution architect is a person who is responsible for designing and implementing the scalable and cost-effective cloud solutions. He creates or she creates the architectural diagrams and all the documentation and ensure all the cloud services are designed properly to meet the business requirements, to scale and to be resilient to any failures. In a cloud, I would like to point out one thing. You can design all resilient architectures with the high availability and auto scaling. Those are really 2 great benefits of the cloud services at all. So we have the architects. We have software developers. The software developers are the guys who develop and maintain the cloud applications and cloud services, because all the IT is about the applications, because the applications are key for the business, not the infrastructure. The underlying infrastructure is here to support all the application and services. So cloud developers, they leverage the serverless or server computing, microservices, and containerization. You may be familiar with those terms, or you might not. Just stop by and we will explain more in more detail. So those are the developers. Developers usually collaborate with the DevOps teams for the continuous integration and deployment. The cloud design and cloud operations has its specifics, and it develops a new disciplines like, for example, DevOps, SecOps, and all the operations which are more tightly integrated with the development and also the architecture of the services and the design. And if we move to the operations, which the typical roles could be the system engineers or site reliability engineers, those guys are really responsible to deploy and manage and build the cloud resources and cloud services. In the cloud, you don't have the console for every server, or you have, but it's very time consuming. And to truly benefit from the cloud scale, you are using the automation tools for almost everything. Every service in the cloud has its API, and you can pull these APIs and configure all the services. And boom, for example, like we had the infrastructure diagram, 2 slides ago at the architects, we can spin up those architecture in cloud, like, just clicking or just clicking the fingers or click somewhere and utilize the Terraform or Ansible or any other automation tool to build the infrastructure itself. And we have many other roles in cloud environment, and not only cloud. I would say and generalize it at today's IT. We have security architects who are responsible for the architecture and for the security, for the compliance of the cloud architecture with some standards, for example, PCI DSS and many others. In cloud, we have also the new roles like FinOps manager. FinOps, like the financial operations, are the guys who are responsible for all the budgets and all the costs and consumption of the cloud services. Because in the cloud, you can just click and you have the new service, and you need to govern all the services in the cloud. You also have the automation engineers. The automation engineers are the guys who are responsible for running all the infrastructure in automate way, and you don't have to utilize the troubleshooting and utilize all the cloud operation services by the humans. You can also leverage the automation, and the automation can take care about your services for you, and you are just informed. It doesn't mean the operations is not necessary. It means the operations has shifted a little bit. And what about the trainings? Trainings to empower these roles with the proper trainings and proper certifications for your cloud journey. I would say for example, the specific AWS, we have the training paths and training modules in the ALEF, which are recommended. So if you would like to know really the basics, you can step in and take the Cloud Practitioner Essentials or AWS Technical Essentials. Those are the very basic trainings for the very basic overview of the cloud services, of the cloud operation, and how cloud works. You can step a little farther on developing. If you are a developer, you can take developing on AWS. Every rectangle here in this slide is one training. And those trainings are 1 to 3 days long, and they can really prepare you also with your hands-on experience and all the preparation for the certification later. If you move up to the operations role, let's assume you're already using cloud and you would like to utilize all the operations and automation. Let's take a look at the operation on AWS and also the architecting. So as you can see, every role we've mentioned has its own recommended way how to prepare for the role, how to prepare for the day on-job duties and day-to-day tasks. When you are on the architecting path, you can also switch to the cloud financial management, for example, which helps you to understand all the costs and how to govern the cloud costs and services. Or you can step to the other side as the well-architected best practices. In the cloud, you have the prescriptions about how to, let's say, architect your services and your applications well with the cloud native. The well-architected best practices are about those prescriptions and guidance. And there is also the advanced architecting on AWS, which goes really deep on the services and all the design aspects of the cloud. And let's not forget about the security. Also, the security is very, very important role of the cloud, because you are still responsible for your applications and your services in the cloud, and the cloud providers are responsible for the security of the cloud itself, of the cloud services. So those are some training paths you can take, and we would be really happy to tailor those paths to your needs. If you are new to IT, you can start at the very bottom. If you know some concepts, you can jump to the upper levels and start with the upper training path and upper certifications. Every training, or not everything, but most of the trainings has the certifications and badges associated with its after you will be awarded after the training and after the certification. There is the foundational level to the cloud practitioner, which really tells you which empowers you with the basics, and it declares you know the basics of the cloud and the basics of the basic cloud services. There is also the associate level. Associate, like very similar to the other vendors, when you can choose your path to the solution architect, to the SysOps administrator, which is now called a cloud administrator, and developer. And there is also the professional level of the exam for the solution architect and DevOps engineer, for really govern and maintain all the development in the cloud. In AWS, we also have some specialty certifications. If you would like to focus, for example, on the security or on the advanced networking or the databases, you can also choose the specialty to empower the skills. But what I say from our practice, typically you would start at the foundational level, you will move closely to the associate level, and I really tell you the most common is the solution architect associate, which many people takes, and then you can focus on the professional role of development, which is go a little bit deeper and wider, or the specialty, which is quite narrow but very, very deep. There is not only the trainings recommended for the certifications, you also should have some hands-on experience with the cloud. Those numbers you can see here is the numbers the AWS says they are necessary. From our experience, not all the years are, or not all the preparations took that long. You can still skip some months or some years and prepare faster, definitely, because you don't have 5 years, for example, to begin with the cloud and the security. You don't. You have maybe a year or two or something, and it's still okay and still valid. So in the end, I would like to invite you all or empower you on your cloud journey with the certifications and with all the proper trainings. And let's see where you should start. You can start with us, with the ALEF Training Center. On our web page, you can find all the trainings which are to the cloud and to the others technologies you've learned about today, to the Cisco, F5, NetApp, and the others. So go to the training, alef.com, and start your journey. Start or continue your journey. And I wish you a nice day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jiří. And finally, we have prepared a competition question for a JBL speaker. Now, please scan this QR code. And wait a minute. Okay, we're still waiting. Thirty seconds. Okay, still waiting. Ten seconds. Okay, let's go. Ten seconds. Okay. Moldova is right answer, and congratulations, winner. And I hope you enjoy the speaker. Okay, this is the end of our ALEF Knowledge Day conference. I hope you enjoyed the conference. We look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you for your attention. Have a nice day and see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.